Missouri's primary election is less than a month away now, and county clerks are preparing by making sure everyone is ready. Rob Macco joins us from the Alert Center with a look at what Greene County is doing. Rob.
Greene County Clerk Shane Scholler says he's not aware of any direct threats against election workers, but election and poll workers in some parts of the country have expressed concerns about threats or intimidation. Now, the U.S. Department of Justice even set up an election threats task force in 2021. Scholler, who has been the clerk since 2015, says elections have been more tense since 2016. New this year, they will coordinate with the Greene County Office of Emergency Management in both the August primary and the November general election. He says they have been working with the sheriff's office since 2016, with plainclothes deputies working alongside election judges at many polling locations, just in case there are any problems. They also work with local police departments.
We have heard of nothing happening in Greene County, but I believe it's better to be prepared, that you need to make sure that the rule of law is followed. And when we've had our deputy sheriffs participate in the election, and they're literally there helping voters, they're assisting voters, but they've been some of the best elections I've had as county clerk, because what I have found is that the citizens of Greene County appreciate that and they welcome that.
Scholler says these efforts have bipartisan support. Now, the last day to register to vote in the primary is tomorrow, July 10th. The first day of in-person absentee voting is Tuesday, July 23rd, and Election Day, of course, August 6th. Now, the Greene County Sheriff's Office says they are working with the clerk's office to ensure the safety of voters and poll workers for the primary and general election, but couldn't share specific details. Now, we have sample ballots here on our website at ky3.com. Go to this page, you scroll down, you can click on your particular county, and you can get sample ballots as well as any questions that are on the ballot as well. Reporting live from the Alert Center, Rob Macco, KY3 News.